The bridge at sunset. Emma had always loved walking by the river after work. It was her quiet ritual, the fading light, the gentle murmur of water, the steady rhythm of her footsteps on the old stone bridge. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of rose and gold, she saw someone standing at the railing. A man, lost in thought, sketchbook in hand. His pencil moved quickly, as though afraid the sunset would vanish before he could capture it. Curious, Emma slowed her pace. He looked up, and their eyes met. His smile was shy, almost hesitant, but warm enough to linger in her mind. "You like the view too?" he asked. "Yes," Emma replied. "I come here almost every day. It feels timeless." He chuckled. "That's why I draw it. I'm afraid of forgetting how beautiful it is." They talked until the last light faded, about little things, favorite books, the way seasons changed the river, the comfort of quiet places. His name was Daniel, an illustrator who had moved to the city only months ago. Days turned into weeks, and Emma found herself hoping he'd be on the bridge each evening. Sometimes he was already waiting, sketchbook ready, other times she'd catch him arriving just as she did, breathless as though afraid she wouldn't come. Their meetings became a rhythm of their own. She told him stories about her childhood, he showed her the sketches he never let anyone else see. They laughed easily, yet in silence they were just as comfortable. One evening, rain threatened, but neither left. Drops tapped against the railing, soft and hesitant. Daniel closed his sketchbook and, almost nervously, offered his hand. "Emma," he said, "I think I've been sketching sunsets just to meet you under them." Her heart stumbled at his words. She slipped her hand into his, the rain cool but his palm warm. From then on, the bridge wasn't just a place of passing, it was theirs. Even when life grew busy, they always found their way back, watching the sky fade together, hand in hand, as though the world paused just for them. And sometimes, when Daniel showed her his sketchbook, Emma would find not sunsets, but portraits of her, her laugh, her gaze, her silhouette against the light. She'd tease him, but inside she knew, their story had been drawn into the river, the sky, and the quiet magic of a bridge at sunset. A Promise Beneath the Lanterns. The annual Lantern Festival was always Emma's favorite night of the year. The river sparkled with floating lights, and the air carried a quiet magic, as if the town itself was holding its breath. She stood by the bridge, clutching a small lantern in her hands, its warm glow reflecting in her eyes. "Still making wishes?" a familiar voice teased. Emma turned and saw Daniel, her childhood friend. He had been away for years, studying abroad, and his sudden presence made her heart race. He looked the same yet different, older, steadier, but with the same smile that once lit up her summers. "I don't make wishes," she replied softly. "I make promises." Daniel stepped closer, his gaze locked on hers. "And what promise are you making tonight?" Emma hesitated. For years, she had carried feelings for him, hidden in small gestures and unspoken words. She remembered how they used to run through these streets, how he had once said under a sky full of lanterns, "One day, we'll see the world together." Her fingers tightened around the lantern. "That no matter where I go, I'll always find my way back here." Silence lingered between them, filled with the hum of music and the laughter of the crowd. Then Daniel reached into his coat and pulled out his own lantern. He lit it, holding it carefully, and his voice trembled just slightly. "My promise," he said, "is that I won't leave again without you." Emma's breath caught. The lanterns around them drifted upward, carrying hundreds of wishes into the night sky. Daniel took her hand, warm and short, and together they released their lanterns. The two flames rose side by side, joining the sea of lights above. Emma leaned against him, finally allowing her heart to rest. The promises they once made as children had found their way back to them, brighter, stronger, and more real than ever. And beneath the lantern-lit sky, love at last was spoken without a single word. The Silent Promise. On a quiet spring morning, Emma sat by the old oak tree in the park, sketching in her worn notebook. She always came here to draw, losing herself in lines and shadows. What she didn't expect was for someone to sit down beside her. "Do you mind if I stay here?" a warm voice asked. She looked up and met the eyes of Daniel, a man she had noticed passing by many times but never spoken to. His smile was gentle, almost shy. Emma shook her head, not at all. From then on, he started joining her. Sometimes he read a book, sometimes he simply watched the world go by. Words were few between them, but silence felt comfortable. Over weeks, their moments became routine, two strangers slowly turning into something more. One afternoon, rain surprised the park. Everyone ran for shelter, but Emma and Daniel stayed under the oak. She laughed as drops soaked her hair, and he quickly removed his jacket, placing it over her shoulders. Their eyes met, and the world grew quiet. "I've wanted to tell you something," Daniel said, his voice low. "Every time I see you here, it feels like the day is lighter. You make ordinary moments extraordinary." Emma's heart raced. She had felt the same, an unspoken pull, a warmth she couldn't explain. She whispered back, "Then let's not let it stay unspoken." Daniel leaned closer, hesitant but hopeful. When their lips finally met, it wasn't just a kiss, it was a promise, soft and wordless, that something beautiful had begun beneath the old oak tree. And from that day forward, the park was no longer just a place for Emma's sketches. It was the place where love quietly found her, in the silence of shared mornings and in the gentle courage of a man who dared to sit beside her. They had met 3 years ago in this very station, both waiting out a storm that had delayed their trains. A shared cup of coffee, laughter over a dripping ceiling, and an unspoken promise in their eyes. Since then, the station had become theirs, a place where goodbyes were softened by hellos, and time always felt too short. Tonight, though, felt different. Tonight, Emma was leaving for good. Or at least, that was the plan. Emma? His voice broke through the crowd, low and breathless. She turned, and there he was, Daniel, hair tousled, coat half buttoned, as if he had run the whole way. His eyes locked on hers, filled with everything she was trying to hide. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, biting the trail of all words. "And let you leave without hearing me?" He stepped closer, the chaos of the station fading into silence around them. "Emma, I can't let you go without telling you the truth. I love you. I have for years. And I don't care where your job takes you, or how impossible this feels, I'd rather fight for you than spend a lifetime regretting I didn't. Her throat tightened. She had dreamed of these words, rehearsed them in her own mind, but now that they were real, they terrified her. Daniel, I don't want to choose between love and my future. Then don't, he said, eyes steady. Choose both. We'll figure it out. We always have. The final boarding call echoed through the station. Emma looked down at her ticket, then back at him. His hand reached for hers, warm and certain, grounding her in a way no city skyline ever could. The train roared to life, but Emma didn't move. She let the ticket slip from her hand, fluttering to the ground like an autumn leaf. Daniel's face lit up with a smile, half relief, half disbelief. So, you're staying? Emma leaned into him, her forehead against his chest, listening to the rhythm of his heart. No, she whispered, smiling through her tears. I'm not staying. I'm choosing us. Wherever that takes me. And when the last train pulled away, leaving the station quiet and still, they remained, two souls no longer running from goodbyes, but finally stepping into forever.